Hey, Thursday nights I have my lesson with Rick, who inspired this whole series of E blues because I think he needed a breakthrough, and I just made some videos, and it's really worked for him. So he was jamming with his buds last week, and he said he wasn't sure what to play on this Pink Floyd song called Pigs, which I'm not really that familiar. I listened to a little bit of it. It's pretty cool, but it really wasn't. The soloing was good, but it wasn't really. It sounded like it was improvised. It wasn't overly like super. It was nothing outrageously difficult or precise or anything. So, but Rick wasn't sure what to play, and I said, there's nothing wrong with just sitting back and just, he said the guys were singing and playing and having a great time and harmonizing, and I go, just lay back and let them do their thing, and that making space is just as valid as getting in there and playing sometimes. But anyhow, somehow I was looking at the transcription, and way down low in the song was this unison bend. And I said, why don't you do some of those? And we started working on that. We'll review that. But then he showed me he was like going. I don't know if he went way up here. That kind of knocked me out. I thought that was great. So we'll review that. So I'm just saying, if you weren't sure what to play over E blues, E rock, Pink Floyd, for example, the unison bends are pretty cool on the E. So that's a E on the first string, 12th fret, use your pointer. And then we go to second string, 15th fret, I would use the ring finger, that's a D, and then have the middle finger on the C sharp right underneath the D and push with both fingers. And try to get them in tune. So this D lifts up and becomes an E, like this. You can get your tuner out and look at it. Mine's over there. And see, how close you get. So, what do you do with that? You could put it into some timing, such as like say a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Or half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or quarter notes. Maybe eighth notes. Oh boy, I'm scared. So try whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes. And if you're in time, or even if you're a little out of time, maybe if you just hit it once or a whole bunch, that repetition or that simplicity could just cut through everything and just be brilliant. So that's not a bad thing to know. If you want to add this G, often on a person's first lesson, we'll learn that phrase. E, G, E. That's 12, 15, 12. Pretty cool. You could also go E, G, A and back down. So that's 12, 15, 17. And you can go up and down. You can bend that 15, the G. But it's pretty good to bend the A, 17. Bend that up. You can go a half step, get that B flat. Or you can bend a whole step. Not a bad idea to resolve on the E end on it. That's going to relate to the chord, whether it's major or minor or just a power chord. So mixing up that handful of notes, pretty cool. Or you can just hit that B at 19. You can go 19, 18, 17, little triplet. Here's kind of a quirky one. Check this out. 18, 17, 15. So I'm doing some hammer-on and pull-offs. With a little bit of sliding. Let's add some delay. Make it freaky and a little overdrive. Then you got that high D. If you've got 22 frets, D. And then you can bend that D up to an E. So that's basically a full E blues scale on the first string. Let's review. It's 12, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wait a minute, sorry. It's 22. 22. And then if you got it in you, if you got any more energy left, you can maybe use 3 fingers to push that up there. So one problem when you bend is that you collide with these other strings. What you got to do is use your fingers as kind of bulldozers to push them out of the way. Or I'll use my pointer finger to kind of make sure those strings don't sound or make a noise, if possible. So this finger, I call it the guard. It's just making sure. It's just kind of keeping them under control, because you do push more than one string. That's normal. See how it's laying flat across there? Oops. That was a stumble. Ow. It's pretty tight. So you can learn the scale from there and work your way down to 6th string, 12th fret. That was 22, 20, 22 bent, 22 not bent, 19, then 2nd string. That's 22 bent, not bent, and then 19. Wait, that's 20. It's a G, and then 21 on the 3rd string. So that's, and then E, D, that's, God, those frets are hard to count up there. 21 down to 19. That's a E, D. Then you got your 3 in a row. 21, 20, 19. Then you got your 17. Those are all on the 4th string. Then your root. 21, 20, 19, 17. Then 19 on the 5th string. That's an E. And work it down to D, 17. Then 6th string, the good old 3 in a row. These start to be familiar, right? You get used to it. It's not that hard. That's 19, 18, 17. Then a 15. You might want to write this out. I take a lot of notes on, I pencil out a lot of things. Write them down, study them, memorize them. There's your 15, the big G. And finally, low E at the 12th fret. So that pattern based on an E. So it's kind of feeling 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Kind of a triplet feel, I think. And if you want to do a little more, 12, 15, 7, 6, 5, 3, 0. Then you've got it from the highest note to the lowest note. That's why E is a good key for guitar. If you want to go higher, maybe grab a slide. Whoa! You could do this. I can't find the pitch. That wasn't perfect. Ah. So I'm just saying, if you really want to go for it, try a slide. See if you can get the same scale up in these. That's uncharted territory. No frets, but the notes are still there. There's just no neck or fret. But a slide would help you get those. All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. I got all kinds of new fun things I'm working on, but no gig this weekend, so I'm just, it's been a brutal decade of gigs, and finally, I'm so relieved not to have to play a gig and just be a normal person for for a couple days. We'll see how that goes. All right, keep practicing, and good job, Rick, and everybody else that practices. Thanks for following along with this little series. And again, if you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. And let me know what you think. If I made you mad, let me know. Otherwise, I'm here for you. And so keep practicing and keep rocking. Thanks.